So how is it going, Dank Division? Dank Dan here, and after taking a little bit of a break from Call of Duty to pretty much play everything from Spider-Man to Fortnite and everything in between, let's start taking a look at what exactly we will be seeing in regards to Modern Warfare 2 Season 4, which of course is going to be coming out on June 14th. So what exactly do we have to look forward to? So let's start on the Warzone side. So we've already seen the leaks, we already kind of knew the name was coming, and that of course is Vondel. Or is it Vondel? Someone will correct me, but let's face it, this map set in a beautiful area that looks, a little bit like Amsterdam. In fact, if you look in the background, you'll actually see that I'm playing the campaign mission that takes place in the area, and it wouldn't be the first time that we've seen assets get used from before that's been in the campaign or in multiplayer maps. So what exactly does this include? Well, first off, it's going to be somewhere between the size of Al Mazrah and Ashika Island. It's not going to be as big as Al Mazrah, but it's not going to be as small. The best way to look at it, to think of numbers wise, we're looking at 18 operators for DMZ and 72 operators for Resurgence. So, be ready to expect a lot more. So let's face it, this is going to be the first map developed by Binox in a long time. It's going to feature 15 distinct points of interest. This includes, but is not limited to, the medieval castle dating back to Saxon times, an abandoned zoo, a Greek revival-style city hall, and a soccer stadium, which are currently set up for a paintball tournament finale. There are also going to be, the packed townhouses, the small alleyway cafes, and a variety of other, local areas to explore to take advantage of. So keep in mind that Vondel's unique topography and access points are going to be focused around a canal system in addition to several different road types and bridges. So operators already are going to be able to use the water, and I dare to say they're kind of focusing heavily on the water. But we will be seeing more about this map tomorrow. So what do we have to look forward to in regards to modes? Well, we do have a limited time mode that is going to be right around the launch window, specifically on June 28th. So this brand new mode is inspired by multiplayer's mode Hardpoint. Lockdown will be based on tasking multiple squads at capturing points and holding zones around the map rather than being the last squad standing. So this is going to be an objective-based mode where those who spent time in multiplayer and Battle Royale are going to pretty much excel, because Lockdown allows for custom loadouts right at the start of the match. This means squads can go for the Call of Duty League bread and butter, all these classic weapons that people have already been using, the Vaznev 9K or the TAC 56, and for my taste, I kind of like using the Sakin if I'm going to be playing on a larger scale map. Why? Because 200 bullets can't all miss. So expect Lockdown to last roughly double the amount of time that a traditional hardpoint match, and theoretically you can fit 4 matches back to back to back within an hour. So, be ready for that. And it's going to be a limited time mode to see if it plays well. If people enjoy it, it gets thrown into the rotation. If people don't enjoy it, out it goes. So what do we also have to look forward to in regards to Vondel? We already know that Resurgence is going to happen. But it's not the fact that we're getting Resurgence that has people curious. It's the fact that they're going to be adding new features that'll be tagged on. So Resurgence modes are set to have what is called a dynamic timer feature. So what exactly does this mean? The dynamic Resurgence timers automatically adjust a squad's timer should one or multiple squad members disconnect. This could be something as simple as someone getting a dev error to, you hop in with randoms, they don't like you and they back out. However, if it's simply just a disconnect, the squad members rejoining will revert the timer back to its normal countdown. However, in general, these dynamic timers should be an equalizer for squads that are suddenly finding themselves up shit's creek without an operator. Then you have the new vengeance icon. Let's face it, we all want to get revenge on the jackass that kills us. It's what we live for in a Resurgence match. So what exactly happens? So when you've been knocked on your ass in a Warzone match, it might be time to rethink how you're going to go. So what exactly happens? The vengeance icon allows you to find out who killed you. So in Season 4, all Resurgence matches across the board will include this new mechanic, which is going to be an icon that is in the direction of the opponent that eliminated your squad mate. This icon just shows you the direction, not the exact location, and is tied to the death of your squad mate. Now, the icon lasts as long as the Resurgence timer is on for your squad mate. If your squad mate is down for 15 seconds, timer lasts for 15 seconds. If you eliminate this person, though, you get an additional 5 seconds shaved off all squad mate Resurgence countdowns in addition to the normal elimination value. So this is perfect for people who, don't use mics. That way the vengeance icon can actually provide support so that people can figure out what they're doing, or that so people can decide who they want to take their revenge out on. So where do I even begin with DMZ? DMZ has been missing many crucial things because it didn't really have an incentive to play. It was just this mode that you just went in, leveled up some guns, maybe did a mission or two, and then you backed the fuck out. So you will be having, of course, DMZ come right to the new map. As I said before, 18 players, which means 6 squads of 3. So what exactly does this mean? This means that you're going to have something new. This being what's called the Forward Operating Base, a central hub for DMZ. What exactly is this? This is outside of being in the zone, in the DMZ. You actually have it, that you'll be able to do stuff in a menu system before dropping in, similar to what Tarkov does. So what exactly do you have? You will have upgrades that'll come in 4 different categories. This includes stash, which includes you can have the wallet and key stash size increased. You'll have the weapon locker, which will include insured and contraband armaments and upgrades. A bounty board for exfil, so bartering recipes and buy station discounts, as well as a communication station allowing for mission access. So all of the operator upgrades within the, I'm going to call it the FOB, which is called the Forward Operating Base, are passive. They don't need to be equipped and allow for efficient progress throughout all aspects of DMZ. So what exactly does this mean? So, for example, the urgent missions, which will give you what's called reputation within the factions. Within this, you can unlock urgent missions. These are a new type of faction requested tasks. They are quicker to complete than most and provide a nice, decent way to earn what's called, like I said before, faction reputation. Unlocking more story missions, thus giving faction missions even more agency. Now, specifically, urgent mission completion grants a tracked reputation with individual factions, all shown from within this menu, along with your objectives that allow you to unlock insured slots, the out-of-game wallet, as well as an expanded DMZ elements such as the contraband stash, the key stash, and the wallet capacity. And yes, DMZ will allow you to keep your extracted cash from each match instead of having it thrown to the wind every time you get out. You will then be able to choose to re-infiltrate with a full pocket of cash, meaning that it will be easier to do objectives or be able to get more shit off of the start. You also have the new faction, that of course being the Phalanx Faction, which, let's face it, how they work is that there will be more intel coming on DMZ, including, more details on the new and refresh missions. You're going to have it that there's a new boss that you have to kill, along with the new vehicle, which I'll get to that in a moment, and more vehicle weapon case rewards that will pretty much be something you can unlock right off the get-go. So similar to how DMZ and everything worked with Mazrah for a while, you remember how there was that wonderful Sandstorm? Well, this new map will have a dynamic fog. So what exactly does this mean? This means that since, this new map is built on the canals and is below the sea level, you're going to see rolling fogs that will come through. So what does this mean? This means that there'll be rare instances where occasionally they'll just pop out of nowhere. Now this can happen across the board. This can happen during Resurgence, it can happen during Battle Royale modes, and at times it might be beautifully sunny, or it might just be like this. Now what exactly does this mean? This means you might have to consider using a thermal scope. It might mean hiding inside. The options are kind of endless. Now some of you might be wondering, how do you intend to traverse all of the maps of Warzone? Because let's face it, you might be trying to decide, do I want a boat or do I want a car? COD said, fuck it, let's do both. Because now you have what is called the Tactical Amphibious Vehicle, the TAV for short. This is a 4-passenger vehicle that can travel on both land and water, making it beautiful for the canals of Vondel, but also for the areas in Ashika Island where you can drive around, as well as even Mazrah. Now, because of its amphibious nature, this vehicle may not be the fastest on land or sea. It's not the quickest vehicle on land. It will never be the quickest on sea. But let's face it, because it's a jack of all trades, it means that you have seamless transition from one to the other. You're not having to hop out of the boat to grab a car. You're not hopping out of the car to grab a boat. You can just simply stay in the vehicle. Now, speaking of favorite things, let's talk about something that we saw as a quality of life thing in the original Warzone that is finally coming back. It's something that we were requesting. We used to call it the personal supply box, and what was in that was your favorite weapons, pretty much your loadout weapons right out of there. So what they're calling this time is called the favorite supply box. So each operator's favorite supply box contents will be different in theory, meaning that when you open the box, you'll have your primary and secondary weapons from your favorite loadout for you to choose, along with ammo and at least an armor plate. So be very careful when you're choosing your favorite loadout, because if you open one of these crates and you accidentally pick the loadout that's a cheese thing where you, let's say, put a riot shield and sword, then that will be on you. This also can be seen as a way of going about things, because you can grab this and then buy perks instead of having to buy the whole loadout. Now, speaking of buying things, we all have that one teammate. Hey, buy me back, bro. Buy me back, bro. Come on, man. I only ran into a room. Buy me back, bro. I am that person that usually dies first, but I'm not like that. Now we have something that will be part of the Assault of Vondel event unlock. This is a new field upgrade for you to consider for Battle Royale matches. So what exactly is this? It's called the Reinforcement Flare, and its purpose is very simple. After being purchased from a buy station, or just fucking around and finding it, this can be placed to signal the return of any squad mate. Now the problem is, it will be random. Think of it as a portable buy station redeployment, but without the ability to choose who gets revived. You're pretty much playing Russian roulette. So if you have that one shit teammate and everyone else is down and you're praying that it's gonna be the right person, congratulations, you don't know which one you're gonna get. But let's face it, it's a nice alternative to having to go to the buy station, which is probably camped by some jackass sitting with a sniper waiting to blow someone's head off. Now, we do have a new public event, that of course being called the High Stakes. Now, we've already seen public events that have been present in Battle Royale and Resurgence modes, so Vondel will launch with a new public event that will eventually probably make its way across the whole shooting match. So when this whole thing starts, there'll be several loadout sized crates that'll drop from the sky. Now, capturing these grants double weapon and double XP just for both weapon and player for the duration of the match. And for those of you who are already sitting here questioning this, this does mean that if you happen to have double XP tokens, or we get a double XP event, you can get quadruple. Yeah, that's right, quadruple XP for securing this. Now let's face it, there's a reason they call it high stakes, because anyone who wants to level shit up, quadruple XP, fuck it. You remember when you were able to stack tokens on a double XP event? Now you actually have something that allows you to do such a thing. Now, continuing with the Assault on Vondel event, which we'll eventually hear more about that somewhere down the road, you have almost like a train station, but not quite. You have what are called taxicabs on the canal. Now, these taxicabs are an autonomous boat accessible as part of the event. Now, they're planned to be deployed on pretty much the first stage of the Assault on Vondel is completed. These boats are just going to pretty much be moving around the canals on a set route, with operators also able to speed them up should they find themselves in a little bit of a gunfight. So you remember how I mentioned the Sandstorm and Mazrah? You know, that thing that was driving us fucking nuts? Well, we now have it that the Sandstorm is going to be gone. It's no longer existent in Mazrah. So what exactly does this mean? This means that while the Sandstorm is gone, that doesn't mean that it's completely left without damage. There are now going to be several sandbanks to climb upon all over the place. This is going to offer new and creative ways to approach some various areas of the city. Specifically, expect a massive sand dune on the side of the TV tower, the embassy, and the high-rise building. Now, the dunes also piled up across the roadways, including covering parts of the highway system, and nearly flooded entire, small structures here, there, and everywhere. This means that people are going to have to rethink how they maneuver across that whole city area. So the last thing that we find out is something in regards to the mid-season for Season 4. So, at Season 4 Reloaded, some of you might have been wondering, hey, why isn't this slightly larger map getting its own Battle Royale? Well, they're first going to see how the map plays, and then they're going to release traditional Battle Royale on this map. Now, what exactly does this mean? This means you will actually have a subterranean gulag that looks very reminiscent of the ones that we have seen in the past. So with that being said, that's pretty much all I got on the Warzone side. If I keep this video going any longer, it's going to be far too long for me to go into the stuff for the multiplayer, so that'll be saved for another video. So for those of you who enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to leave a like, drop a comment down below with what are you looking forward to, at least on the Warzone side of things. Don't forget to click that subscribe button, follow us on our socials, and you guys have a wonderful day, night, whatever you're doing, do it wholeheartedly. And this is Dank Dan, signing off.
Get them to click that subscribe button, Dank. It's the only way we can figure out the numbers. What do the numbers mean, Dank? We're wasting valuable time.